Hi, I'm Ms. Reese, and today we're going to be talking about the natural resources in the world. We're going to be exploring the characteristics of natural resources that make them useful in products and materials for our environment. So, what are natural resources? Natural resources are materials or substances from Earth that can be used to support our life and meet our needs. It is anything from Earth that you can use. So we can see here that we have the oil and the coal, and we used those things for our environment in our everyday life, right? So the oil can be used for the petroleum or the gas that we use for the cars that we drive in. Or how do we get to school? With the cars, right? So then we will be using the oil as part of our natural resources. And then we have the coal that can be used for, I don't know, maybe when you go cooking outside and everybody gathers and you have like a cookout and you use the coal so you can cook. That's one of the other natural resources. There's a lot more than that, but those are just two examples at first. What are other natural resources? Now I want you to think about what other natural resources we have in our environment that we use for our needs. So one of the sources would be the sun. We have the sun and it's there for everyone to use, right? So the sun gives us light and it helps our plants and it helps us for energy. Then we have water. Water is very essential for every human being and animals and plants, for every living organism basically. We use the water for to drink or to take a shower or to wash things, which is water is very essential, is one of the natural resources. Then we have trees. Trees help us breathe, right? So they give us oxygen and stuff. So we have the trees, and that helps us for breathing. That gives us oxygen, and everyone needs it. Then it's also used for other things like paper and maybe like the furniture that we used and things like that. Then we also have gold. Gold is something that is a natural resource that's not everywhere in the world. You need to find it. And then we can use it to make jewelry, and there's other things like that, like money that we can use gold for. And dirt. The soil in the floor is very essential also for our needs because it helps the plants grow. So we have the renewable resources. There's two types, the renewable resources and the non-renewable resources. So for example, the renewable resources are some resources that are materials that can be used again. Renewable resources are those natural resources such as trees, the water, sun, and wind that can be replenished at about the same rate at which they are used. This means that as soon as we use the water, there can be more water that will be replenished. So like whenever it rains, there will be more water that's going to be used again, just the one that was happening first. Then we have trees, and the new trees will be planted and they will be growing. So it just keeps on happening as we keep on using them. The renewable resources, however, can be drained if not properly managed or conserved. So we just keep on cutting trees, and there's fires, or forest fires, and things like that, and they're not being planted, and there's no one to like take care of them for them to grow again. Yes, we might run out of trees also. So we need to take care of our sources. Then we have the non-renewable resources. The non-renewable resources are those natural resources that are limited, or they can be exhausted more quickly than they can regenerate. This means that as soon as we use them, they cannot be regenerated fast, like it takes a long time for them to come again. Once mined and used completely, non-renewable resources are gone forever. Like one good example of a non-renewable resource would be the oil. So we keep on using oil in our everyday life with everyone's car in the world. So how is the oil regenerating? It's not. It takes a long time for the oil to regenerate. So as faster we use it, the more quickly it's going to finish. Oil or petroleum comes from the liquid form fossilized remains of plants and animals that lived hundreds of millions of years ago. It is used to create the fuels such as gasoline and plastics. So, like I just said, the petroleum comes from liquid form fossilized remains of plants and animals that lived hundreds of millions of years ago. So, how fast do you think we're going to be able to be making those oils again? It takes a really long time. Then we have another example, which would be the coal. The coal is the most plentiful yet non-renewable resource in the world and is used to create more than half of the electricity used in the US. So coal helps us for electricity that we used every day. We use it in our home, we use it in the classrooms, at school, at work. Everywhere we go, the stores, there is electricity. And what is helping electricity happen? That would be coal. And then there's the coal mining, which we have in the picture, that there's a guy there who is taking out the coal out of the mines, and that's how it is taken, and then we can use it. So it's another non-renewable resource because it's not going to be regenerated quickly. What can we use natural resources for? So previously I explained that the trees can be used for paper, and then I said about the water that we use to drink and shower and everything. But what about the other sources? So natural resources are used to make food, fuel, and raw materials for the production of goods. Natural resources such as coal, natural gas, and oil provide heat, light, and power. Natural resources are also the raw materials for making products that we can use every day, from our toothbrush and lunchbox to our clothes and cars, televisions, computers, and even our refrigerators. So another one of the renewable resources that we have is cotton. What do you think we use cotton for? Just in our everyday life, what do you think you use cotton for, or that is used for? We can use cotton for the production of clothing. So if you look into your clothes, it has been made out of cotton. A lot of things you cannot put in the washer because of the cotton, or you have to take care of them in a certain way because of the material that they were used in. What can we use trees for? Trees can be used to make furniture. Trees can be used to make paper. Those are the two things that trees are mainly used for. The furniture will be like you get the trunk from the tree to get the wood, and then you make the furniture. That's where you have maybe your dresser or that rocking chair that your mom used to rock you in when you were little, or things like that. Maybe even the table that you're eating dinner at is made out of wood, which would be made out of trees. How can we conserve natural resources? Recycling would be the best way and easiest way for us to conserve our natural resources. We can recycle the metal, the glass, the plastics, and the papers. There's like different containers you can put them in. Like for example, you have all your plastics in one, like you see in the picture. You have all the water bottles, maybe hangers that broke or something that you are not going to use anymore, and they're made out of plastic. You put them in that recycling bin. And then you have the metals, which could be your cans, like when you drink a soda and the can's made out of metal, you put that one there. And then you have paper, all the schoolwork that you no longer need, you can throw that into the recycling bin for the paper. Everything can be recycled when it's a renewable source. And that would be it for today.